So let me guess, you want to draw clear, fluid poses, but all that you're getting are these stiff, jaggy tube people. Well, then you have two problems, your line and your gesture. Luckily, I have a way to solve both things with one simple exercise. And all you have to do is Picasso's favorite pastime. Let me explain. Grab a pencil and a paper. Have the paper be at least as big as your hand. Never smaller. No post-it notes. Now, the source of the problem is not your line. It is not your pencil. It is your hand and the way that you're using it to draw. Your drawings are stiff because you are stiff. Those scratchy lines show that you can't loosen up. So we're going to do something that is a little bit against the norm. Because you see, there are two types of lines that we don't want when we are drawing. The first ones are the scratchy lines that I just mentioned, and then there's also the searching lines. Searching lines are this indecisive squiggle that we do when we don't really know where to stroke. If we were to make a piece of art that we want to show, we will want to avoid those type of lines. But if we're practicing gesture and line weight, these type of lines might be exactly what we need so we can build our confidence. I can show you any Glen Keane drawing and they're all fantastic, and you can also tell that he searches a lot with his lines. But going back to Picasso, he loved drawing things using just one stroke and never lifting the pen. Now here's the thing though, if I asked you to draw with just one stroke and never lift the pen, you could still be very slow and have your line be wobbly and undecisive. And we don't want that. So I'm giving you no choice but to hurry up. You're going to go to this website that I linked on the description below. Warning, there are people without clothes in it. And you're going to choose to start a session where every pose lasts no longer than 30 seconds. And you're going to do this for 15 minutes. That is 30 poses. And you're going to draw these poses without lifting the pencil. This is because I want you to stop freely making lines, so now you have to be very quick and you need to make all lines all the time. Sometimes making the right line takes a leap of faith, but now I'm giving you no time to hesitate. But still, you may want to know where to stroke first. That is the scariest part, right? Well, how about everywhere? Because the important about gesture is to capture flow and action as simple as possible. So look at the photo and try to recreate the overall flow of the pose as you begin. This is called the line of action. From there, you can follow with details. And please know that since this is a warm-up exercise, your first few tries will be awful. Horrible proportion, horrible gesture, everything will suck. But as you warm up, you will start getting better. But if you need to err on one side, I'd rather you make smaller heads and longer legs than the opposite. And listen, no cubes, no cylinders. There is a time and place for that, and this is not it. What you're trying to capture is one big motion, one big fluent pose. Because once you know how to do this, you'll start your drawings not with the Loomis head and go down from there. I know that is what you do, but you will start searching for a big flow that defines the pose and movement of your character before you start working on volumes. And the more you practice this exercise, the more you will start nailing proportions on your drawings before you even move on to cylinders and cubes. And maybe in time, you won't need these cylinders and cubes at all. After all, I can show you the process of countless famous and accomplished artists, and they never start with the Loomis head and a bunch of cubes and cylinders. They practiced it and they internalized it, but they don't draw it anymore. Now, here's why I ask you to draw on a page at least as big as your hand. Here's the thing. The smaller you draw, the stiffer you'll be. If you draw just with your fingers, you can only draw just very small lines. If you draw with your hand, you will have a little bit more movement. And if you draw with your arm, you will have no choice but to be big and confident. Have you ever seen an artist grab the pencil like this? This is how you grab it when you're drawing with your arm because it lets you flow better. This is called the overhand grip. Try to draw like this, even if you're using just a sketchbook. Here's a Love Life drawing video about gesture. You can see that the drawing is maybe just a little bit bigger than his hand, but he is drawing with his whole arm. And look, this exercise might feel a little bit hard. I'm not asking you to do this because I want to see you suffer. This is a very common exercise in art school. First, because it is a great warm-up, and second, because when the time is that limited, you have no choice but to find the most basic and important things about the pose and strike them with fast gestures. This is why it's called gesture drawing. If not, it will be called take your time and constantly question yourself drawing. And you can make some fantastic things in those 30 seconds. Especially after your hand gets really loose, you might even look at one of them and think, hey, that would look really good on a mug. And this is where today's sponsor, Printify, can help you make money with your art. With Printify, you can create a free account and choose between the more than 1,000 products that they have, including mugs, blankets, posters, hoodies, and magnets. They also offer some of the best prices in the market. For example, they offer sweatshirts for less than $15 that people are selling on Etsy for more than $30. Just choose a product that you like from the catalog and put your design on it. Once you made a design that you love, you can connect your Printify account to online platforms like Etsy, Amazon, Shopify, and TikTok Shop. When you receive an order, Printify will do all of the hard work and ship the product to your customer, and all you have to do is just sit back and collect the difference. Do you want to start using it right now? That's great. All you have to do is sign up for free on the link in the description. Thank you, Printify. So back to the exercise, there's one thing I want to clarify to you. Since you will be doing only 30 seconds in the beginning, you won't have a lot of time to work on your line weight, but you will be working a lot on your confidence. Maybe the line weight doesn't change too much here, but at least there won't be any scratchy lines. As you increase the time slowly, you will notice that you will want to put some emphasis on some parts of the drawing. Maybe even a little shade. And if after this exercise you go for like 2-minute poses, you will feel like they go on forever. Now, sometimes there will be a little part of the pose that really catches your eye and it is completely unrelated to the actual line and the flow of the pose. It's okay to start there too. The gesture is about identifying flows and landmarks easily, so when a bit of the pose calls to you, just go there and have fun. I'd love for you to show me how this exercise works for you, so I will ask you to please join the Discord so I can look at your work and tell you what I think about it, and you can communicate with other artists that are in the same boat as you are. It is a great place. I think that you should join. But now, if you still want to keep going, you can lift the pencil and you can use longer poses. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Maybe that's a lot for now, but you can try it. But repeat this process as you work on the longer poses. And no cylinders. Focus on gesture. And if you're taking 5 minutes per pose, just nail the flow and the gesture in the first 30 seconds. You may not notice this, but you're training your perception as much as you're training your eye. But this time, start with a very subtle line. Don't press too much. And here comes another thing I want you to do with these lines. I want you to do them in the air, because one of the best ways to have a confident line is to ghost, which is to simulate the stroke before you do it as if you were practicing it. You can do that now because now that you practice enough, you know where to strike first. But here's the most important thing about having a confident stroke. Know that the motion of your arm starts before the stroke and it ends after the stroke. Just like your stiffness shows in your line, so will the fluid motions that you make with your arm. Starting abruptly and ending abruptly will kill the flow of your line. And it doesn't have to be like the whole arm motion. You can do the same thing by moving just your hand. Gesture and flow is about muscle memory, so you need to make it a lot. And if you feel like you need some more tips about line weight and drawing a confident line, I have the perfect video for you and you can watch it right here.